This is Dr. Mahdi Elkhammas. I'm a transplant surgeon from The Ohio State University. Today we'll continue our recording with mini talks within the above topics. Please feel free to leave me any comments. Thanks in advance. Today's topic is Medical Education 2023, ECFMG, and what it really meant to Africa and what's meant in particular Libya as an example. So all of us, we know that medical education advances very rapidly. Whether you read the literature or you are part of the practicing physicians or you are a student or a fellow or a resident, it's really easily you can recognize that. Internationally, medical schools are having a hard time incorporating the new knowledge quickly to the curriculum. And more medical schools are being opened in different places of the world. So some of those schools, certainly their graduates are going to be used in the local market. And some of them, especially in the developing or from the developing countries, are going to go abroad to specialize and to get more training. Some will come back and some will just reside where they got the training, and especially if they got it in a Western country such as the UK or United States. Speaking of the United States, it's the largest really market for physicians. So it is for training as well as for employment. And the ECFMG, or the Educational Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates, has been the gate for the training of foreign graduates who come to the United States and they want to be trained. So it has usually set of policies and conditions and qualifying exams and so on. So usually what has been going on, the international graduates will be accepted based on certain criteria to take the qualifying exams. And once they take those exams, then they are candidate to obtain training in the United States. They are certified, and when they get the training, of course, they will get their board examination and become eligible to work in the United States or anywhere else based on the local criteria or conditions wherever they go. And now all this is conditioned, so to be able to get those qualifying exams is conditioned that your medical school is listed in the WHO or the World Federation of Medical Education directory. So that was the only condition. So if you prove the adequate records and of attendance and your school is listed, then you can sit for the USMLE and you can get the ECFMG certificate. Of course, the ECFMG is always looking for safety of the American public and looking for the quality of service being offered and the quality of doctors who come to be trained and potentially may stay and work in the United States. Over the years, they noticed major variation in the quality of the international medical graduates. And that has really resulted in so many sessions of discussions among all the stakeholders. And around 2010, they put up a policy to change the way the international medical graduates sit for the USMLE and obtain ECFMG certification. So in that case, the WHO directory of the medical schools is not going to be adequate. They also decided that this policy will be introduced gradually, and by 2023 there will be no more international graduates who will be allowed to be ECFMG certified unless their medical school is accredited by an accreditation agency in that country, and that accreditation agency in that country has to be accredited by the WFME, the World Federation of Medical Education. So the World Federation of Medical Education will be the body to license the accrediting authorities of each country. Now imagine the situation. So that's the trip. It will start from here. Let's apply that to Africa, for example. This policy now, 2023, as you know, is around the corner. So when you look in Africa, there are about 1.3 billion people, over 230 medical schools, and so far there is one accreditation authority in the entire continent, as far as I know. There may be some in the works or some have been approved, but that, as far as I know. And that country is, or that authority is present in Sudan. So what's meant to Sudan? It meant that their accreditation body is allowed to accredit their medical schools in Sudan, and that accreditation body is accepted by the WFME. So how about the other countries as we are looking at them here in this beautiful map? It's a problem. Libya is one of them. As you see, it's in the top of the continent. So it's not an exception. And in Libya, I think they opened more medical schools that they can handle in the last 30 years. Currently, I think there are anywhere between 15 to 18 medical schools. And it was very clear from the beginning that the graduates, or the number of graduates, is much more than what the local market can handle. Because if you do the quick calculation, in Libya there are about 6 million people. And if we talk about 15 schools, then approximately there is one medical school for every 400,000 individuals. Even though there is no really very solid and well-published data, but this is known data, and it makes it, as you see, a very crowded market where some doctors were unable to really get any further in their career, and some of them have left the medical field. There was a nice study. I think everybody who's interested in the healthcare and medical education in Libya should really read this report. It is titled The Libyan Health System, a Study of Medical and Allied Health Education and Training Institution. It's full of data, and I think it's reasonably accurate. It's really, really nice report, and I want to thank the authors for this big time effort. And I'm using Libya as an example for my familiarity with it, but it is the talk is really applicable to any international medical graduates who is going to be certified after 2023. Back again to the report is, as you see here, the list of authors who really put in the effort to give us such nice report. This is a slide from that report, and on your left you will see the example of 3 medical schools in Libya. And they were talking about the basic standards of the WFME, just the basic 9 standards. So Tripoli College of Medicine, 22%, or actually the 22 out of 106 standards. College of Medicine in Benghazi, 33. Omar al-Mukhtar is 4. So it's really, really not much. And when it comes to the quality standards, then you can see from the course is really not much at all. So what has been achieved is really very little, even though the 2023 is around the corner. So again, I hope that somebody has read that report and somebody is meeting and hoping to make an action based on that. Now, I was told that the Libyan Authority for Quality and Accreditation has been in presence for about since 2007 or so, but really it didn't become active in this kind of field, or I became aware of it until probably last year or so. However, this authority is not accredited by the WFME yet, and not listed of any accreditation of medical schools yet. So even this authority here, or the Libyan Authority, have not started or established a list of accredited schools in Libya by them yet. What is the current status? So the current status that the schools have not really have done the self-assessment, with the exception maybe of Tripoli and Benghazi. It is a war status, too many schools. And according to the previous reports, I mentioned no really basic science resources. Actually, it was mentioned in the report that none of the medical schools has a professor of anatomy, which is major basic science tool that is needed to graduate a good doctor. It is a problem, and the application takes time. So the WFME accreditation, it takes about 1.5 to 2 years. The self-assessment of medical schools and reforms, it takes a lot of time and resources. So what really should happen should be urgent offering of resources to the Center of the Accreditation and Quality, which I personally feel that the Center for Accreditation should be separate, should be by itself, full-time, a lot of resources, and they should look at this as a crisis management, because 2023 is coming here very fast. Why Libya or any other country should care? Do we need to care? Yes. Yeah, you should care, because it's good for the international ranking for medical schools. It will help improve our medical education. It will help improve the image also of the graduates who are trained or who graduate from Libya or any other international country. And once you improve the quality of the graduates of that country, then definitely you're going to improve the quality of patient service and the safety of the citizens of that country. I listed very few articles as a reference if anybody interested in reviewing. And I want to thank you for listening. This is just to stimulate people looking into the topic itself. It is certainly also stimulate us from this end in the United States to invest in the global health and collaboration so we can get good quality applicants for our residency programs. And have a wonderful day, and thank you so much again. If you have any questions or any comments, please don't hesitate. If you have any addition, please write them in comments. And bye. We'll meet you in a different episodes at a later date.